Namaste students, I am Dr. Aziz Mohammad Khan from Department of Food and Biotechnology, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to discuss about the topic prokaryotic cell structure. This topic belongs to the field of microbiology. So the first organelle which I am going to discuss about is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is also known as the protoplasm. It is a gel-like matrix of the water, enzymes, nutrients, waste, and gases and contains cell structure. It has important role in growth, metabolism, and replications. Cytoplasm contains all the uh, cell organelles. Uh, this green part is the cytoplasm, which contains all the cell organelles present in this. It provides the cell a particular structure, a particular shape, so that the cell can survive. Next organelle is the granules. Bacteria has a particular organelles which help in the storage of the nutrients. The granules can be identified by studying of the some s- stains, and we can identify by stains. These are the granules as given in the diagram. Next organelle is the chromatin body. Chromatin body are also known as the bacterial genetic material. A single circular loop of essential DNA has been considered in the bacteria. The bacteria DNA is aggregated in the dense area of the cell, which is known as the nucleus. The genetic material of the bacteria is kept inside the cytoplasm. Uh, Without the genetic material, that is nuclear bacteria, some of the bacteria may also have a specific genetic material which is known as the plasmid. Plasmid is the extra chromosomal DNA. It is arranged in the isolated loops or attached to the chromatin body. It provides the bacteria some specific features such as conjugation, and it provides the protection against some pathogenic uh, microbes. Similarly, it also provides the antibiotic resistance to the bacteria, so that bacteria can survive for a longer time. The bacteria perform its conjugation using the pilus, and the plasmid is transferred from one bacteria to another bacteria as a process of the conjugation. Next is the ribosomes. Ribosomes are found within the cytoplasm and may be attached to the plasma membrane. Most of the cytoplasm are found on the uh, outer layer of the endoplasmic reticulum. The two kinds of endoplasmic reticulum are: the first is uh, ER and rough ER. I am talking about the eukaryotes, not about the prokaryotes. So in the eukaryotes, they are found in the ER, but in prokaryotes, they are found in the on the cytoplasm, and they are distributed all over the cytoplasm. Two kinds of cytoplasm may be present: the small subunit and the larger subunit. In prokaryotes, the uh, the 70s type of ribosomes are present, which have two subunits, which is 30s and 50s subunit. The ribosomes may be involved in the protein synthesis. They have important role in the protein synthesis, and they are mainly composed of the rRNA, ribosomal RNA, and proteins. Here we can find the larger. This is the larger subunit, and this is the smaller subunit here. And the larger subunit and smaller subunit mix together and complete the process of the translation, that is the protein synthesis process. Next is the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is the one of the most important cell organelles in both prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. Uh, It separates the cell from its outer environment. Similarly, it separates the cell from cell wall and the cytoplasm. Uh, in the plasma membrane, there is a phospholipid bilayer which is arranged in such a way that the hydrophilic phosphate heads, here we can find it, the hydrophilic phosphate heads are directed outwards. Okay, they are directed outwards. The head are these are the blue part is head. They are directed outwards, and the tails are inside. Okay, the tails are directed inside the inside part of the uh, plasma membrane. They are hydrophobic. Okay, the proteins are embedded. We can find here the proteins, some embedded proteins. The proteins are embedded on the lipid bilayer. These are two lipid bilayer, and the proteins are embedded in this. uh, these are the transmembrane proteins which have in the um, movement of some selected materials from inside or outside. These are the molecules, and these are the proteins. These are the some globular proteins which help in the gate channels. Okay, these are the globular proteins which help in the movement of the cellular materials inside or outside the cell, and also these are also known as the gates. Okay, now cell wall. The cell wall is an important part of the bacteria and prokaryotes. It provides the shape. It provides the defense. If the cell wall is degraded, the bacteria is called as the killed. The bacterial cell wall is composed of the peptidoglycan. Uh, that is the peptidoglycan. Uh, and that is a huge polymer interlocking which is interlocked in itself. They are interlocked. They are interlocked here. The and they are the cell wall is composed of the peptidoglycan. The backbone of the peptidoglycan is also composed of the two derivative of glucose, that which one are um, N-acetyl glucosamine, and the second one is N-acetyl muramic acid. These two one. So the adjacent glycan chains are held together by tetrapeptide chains attached to each N-acetyl-muramic acid, and the bacteria are divided into two groups on the basis of staining of the cell wall, as described by the Christian Grams. He divided the bacteria cell wall into two parts, and on the basis of the cell wall, the bacteria can be divided into two parts. The one is the first part is the gram-positive bacteria. In the gram-positive bacteria, the layer of the peptidoglycan is thick here. As you can find here, the peptidoglycan layer, and it is thick here. And there is a narrow, the periplasmic space is very narrow here. And the gram-positive bacteria are more permeable but less susceptible to lysis. Uh, uh, Without the peptidoglycan, there are also two more protein molecules which are known as the teichoic acid and lipoteichoic acid. They are also found in the gram-positive bacteria, and that the first one is teichoic acid, and the second one is lipoteichoic acid. This is the phospholipid here. These are the proteins, and this is the peptidoglycan layer. That is the structure of the gram-positive bacteria. Now, talking about the gram-negative bacteria is composed of the thin layer of the peptidoglycan layer, and there is a wider periplasmic space. But in gram-negative positive bacteria, the periplasmic space was less, and the gram-negative bacteria are less permeable, but more susceptible to lysis because the peptidoglycan layer is here thin, so they can be lysed easily. And the gram-negative bacteria are surrounded by an outer membrane similar to cell membrane. They are also have a plasma membrane bilayer. as we can find here in the gram positive. They are also in the found in the gram negative, but here it is very thick. The plasma membrane is very thick here, but the peptidoglycan layer is thin here in the gram negative bacteria. The inner layer of phospholipid bound to the cell wall is by lipoproteins. The outer layer of the lipopolysaccharide is composed is the outer layer is composed of the lipopolysaccharide. Next, here we can find the structure of the gram-negative bacteria. This is the poly uh, peptidoglycan layer. Here it is very thick here, and this is the membrane. Membrane. This is the membrane. These are the membrane proteins. The porins help the bacteria to pass the some selected molecules to in or out, and the proteins are similarly embedded inside it. In the peptidoglycan, there are some lipids embedded inside it. Uh, One more important thing is that some gram-negative bacteria may also have some capsule-like structure, which are outside the gram-negative bacteria. We will discuss about the capsule in our next video. Next organelle is the inclusion body. Inclusion body is also a um, organelle which help the bacteria in storage and aggregation of the nutrients when the bacteria need the food, when the bacteria need its own uh, nutrition. Then include the stored food in the inclusion body is utilized by the bacteria, and they can use it for your it's for their nutrition. The inclusion bodies may be or may not be membrane bound. They allow the cell to go for a longer time periods in the absence of the essential nutrients, because uh, the nutrients are stored in the inclusion body, so they do not need to be worried for the nutrients. Next is the endospore. Endospore is also used as the storage of the food material, but it is found on in some selected bacteria uh, that are known as the endospore forming bacteria. The endospore are dormant of non-reproductive structures produced by some special number of bacteria. The primary function of the endospore is to allow the bacteria to survive in the adverse conditions, such as which adverse conditions include the adverse condition include that the starvation condition where bacteria has no food to survive, the desiccation condition. Desiccation means drying, the drying condition, and the condition when the radiation is very high, the condition when the lysozyme have occurred and they start lysis of the bacteria, and the higher temperature condition, the chemical when the chemical disinfection start to deactivate the bacteria. In these conditions, the endospores help the bacteria to survive. And the bacteria become in the formulation of the endospore, and the endospore start the bacteria to survive for a longer time. The endospore are commonly found in the soil and the water, where they may survive for a longer time. In this picture, there are pink color and the violet color, green color. Sorry, there is the pink color and the green color. This green color is the endospore, and this are the bacterial shape. That is the uh, bacillus bacteria, but this green color is known as the endospores. These are the endospores which provide the nutrients to the bacteria, and it these endospores are found only into the some selected bacteria that have a capability to produce endospores. Next organelle include the surface structure, which include the glycocalyx. There are two types, slam and capsules. The next are the surface appendages, which include the flagella. fimbriae, villi, and axial filaments. I will discuss about these topics in our next lecture, that is the surface structures of the bacteria. Okay, so we will meet in our next lecture.